What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, we've got Muln pushing 18 cents at the 1 o'clock hour after hiring an apparently well-qualified law firm to go after the naked short seller. So the obvious question on this post-July 4th holiday is, are we in the midst of the mother of all short squeezes, or is this rally, similar to the others, doomed to fail? All that and more coming right up. All right, I hope happy hump day. I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. There it is, 18 cents on Muln at what, 107? If my eyes are not failing me, I am going to start off by once again reiterating I am long the stock at $1.13. I'll probably mention MCOM as well. I'm long that at 82 cents. Both stocks, full disclosure, are for sale at 50-cent limits. Why? Because every stock known to man has what's called gravity. And in order to take a stock from a dime to 50 cents or $10 to $50, takes a lot of effort. And when you just juice up the outstanding shares to somewhere around 3 billion and you are not qualified, just Google NASDAQ non-compliant companies, and on that list all year long is Mullen. So for all you wackos out there that were ready to jump out a window at 8 o'clock this morning and you're tripping over yourself to buy the stock close to 18 cents right now, I got news for you. There's a reason why they called a vote for a reverse split on August the 3rd, because they are not compliant beyond the first week of September. So we're in an awful pickle right now, aren't we, if we're long the stock? And before I forget, if you want to make money in the stock market, close to 700% returns, follow me on Twitter. And if you want to get inside of a Facebook group for business and a Discord for stocks so we can get away from all the fucking idiots on social media, in particular Twitter, and in some cases YouTube, you're going to need a premium membership at trysmallbiz.com. You can pay by the month or the year and save 16%. So I want to start off by once again reiterating 5 major levels of resistance. What was support as we crashed down through 30 cents to a dime this morning, pushing another all-time low, is now going to become resistance. I put out a smart-ass comment about 2 hours ago at 11:75. I did not think that we were going to get through it. I followed that up 15 minutes later by saying I am wrong. So then I put out a series of tweets that I have been doing nonstop now for the last, let's call it a month. We have 5 levels of resistance. 14, got through that. 17, got through that, but we got to close above 17 or we're going to fade, you guessed it, back to where we were in terms of the last resistance at 14. And then again at 21 and a half, a quarter, and 30 cents. What are the odds, in my opinion? And I've been pretty fucking right all along when I said at 118 on Mullen, don't buy any more stock. Do not buy any more stock. I made a mistake by not getting out much earlier, and I bought a tiny bit to average down at 60 cents. But I am staying true to form. Let somebody else push this motherfucker up to 50 cents, and then I'm out. Because I've learned over 30 years, half of that as a stockbroker, when you go from down 90 plus for many of you, and you can cut that loss in half, it's just like me handing you, 3 more winners to go with the 118 we've racked up in the last 18 months on Twitter. It's like 350% winners. Because the more you come down, the more you got to go back up. So I already have a 16% position in terms of my trading account. For all you idiots, and again, it's the same people. If you want to scroll down about 12 miles on StockTwits, look at the usernames at 8 a.m. It's over. I'm thinking of throwing in the towel. It's a scam, right? You saw the Fast Company article I shared. I'll pin it here on YouTube as well. It basically accuses David and Lion Larry of being absolute crooks, both of which have either been in jail, facing 20 years as Larry was a couple of decades ago, or associating with people who have been to jail for securities fraud, as David has, who again is on his 5th company that he's run into the ground through massive dilution. But nobody this morning, if they're honest, and that's hard to come by these days, would say, I see a 70% rally today. No. And if you look at the usernames, the same people that were bearish are now bullish. Oh, here comes $200. Here comes $100. Here comes absolute fucking bullshit. Once again, I stand by what I've been saying as I attempt to raise hell what now? For the last 3 years, with respect to helping small business owners get the idle grants and money they were promised. And yes, I'm going to have a video on that within the next few days. And in respect to small cap company CEOs, in particular Muln and MCOM, who have run their stocks, their shareholder value down 99.9%, starting to fade now, 17.20. We got to close above 17 on Muln, or this rally is at risk of failing, or at least not being able to get through the next level, which is 21.5. And I just want these two guys in particular, along with Lion Larry, who's, by the way, according to the article, is accused of stealing the technology that he claims the Saudis were going to pay him $10 billion for. Wrong. Look, I want everybody watching me right now to make money. Lots of money. I want you to get out of this fucking mess if you're down 90, 95%. And some of you that claim, I was buying more and you told me not to. No, I said MCOM offered value, and I tweeted it again this morning. I said, watch out for MCOM and the other small caps to hire the same law firm and see the same thing. So if we see MCOM once again get goosed up between 15 and a quarter over the next week, don't say I didn't fucking tell you so. I'm simply playing percentages that when you're in up to your ass, 10, 15, or in some cases for you folks, 20% into one idea that has already told you they're going to do a reverse split this fall because they are not compliant. The NASDAQ, for whatever reason, did not want to give them the green light. And if you read the fine print, as I always do, it said from Mullen last month, we have yet to hear back from NASDAQ in respect to official compliance. They didn't give it to him. And at that point, we were going through $1, then 50 cents. Then the insiders filed to sell. And this morning, when it looked absolutely atrocious at a dime, we turned on the news from a lawyer. So we got through 14. We're choking on 17 now. It looks like we poked our head quarter after one, slightly over 18. I'm calling it right now that this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a nasty tug of war in around 17 cents because it's off a cliff on the hourly chart. Even more resistance is at 21.5, a quarter, and 30. The odds we double from here and get through 30, 25%. The odds we get to a half a buck without a reverse split, 15%. I'm willing to sell it all. I can always buy it back. But the reason why I blocked both David and Sal, the worst CEOs in NASDAQ history, notice how I lump them together now, is I don't want them to affect my judgment. I have had enough of the stench of two guys, I don't give a shit what law firm they hired, that have done absolutely nothing for shareholders up until today. That's a first step. How about some production, David? How about getting the cars, the trucks out on time and collecting some of that $279 million backlog? And again, I ask of you, as I did last week, what are the insiders doing? $2.144 billion filed for resale, which means they collect money on the warrants, about $140 million, but nothing on the sale of all that stock. Have they finished selling? Can you please give us an answer? Because that might affect on where the stock is going to go. And again, I'm willing to take a 50 or 55% loss at a half and be done with it. I am making money today hand over fist without having to lift any extra money into that stock at a dime. And if you did trade it from a dime, use a tight stop. Last trade, $16.90. So we're obviously choking in and around 18 cents, which is to be expected. I would not be surprised if they push us down to, let's call it 14 and change, low 15s, and we close there. That's not necessarily a negative. If we give up the ghost on what we just came through at 14, that's a negative. That puts the odds at 40 to 50%. We're going to retrace and retest a dime because, again, they are not compliant with NASDAQ. They are going to take a vote August 3rd for a September reverse split. And the kiss of death, in my opinion, was when they changed the SEC filing about 3 weeks ago from a maximum reverse of 1 for 10 to a 1 for 100. And it's obvious now, isn't it, looking back? They knew they were going to drive the fucking stock, and I'm talking about Mullen, down to a dime. That's why they needed the 1 for 100. The 1 for 10 is not going to work. 10x on a dime as of this morning gets us to $1. That's not enough. So I'm going to stick with my prediction that we're looking at a 1 for a 50 reverse split. But if they run the table and they somehow get a positive ruling and they walk some of these motherfuckers like Hindenburg and Susquehanna, you know they are, out on a perp walk, then yeah, we got a chance. And maybe some of them are scared right now, and that's why they're covering to such a degree. But I think a lot of it is dumb retail money. Believe me when I tell you this, I've been doing it a long time. The same people that were scared to death this morning are buying it back. They're saying, oh, hell, when I screwed up, I panicked. I sold too much. I didn't buy it. Now aren't you paying 17 and a half, Milford? Yeah, I am, but it's going to go. I'm looking at $300 price targets on stock twits. No, you're not. It's bots and fucking idiots that have no clue. And speaking of no clue, I am getting sick and tired in closing of all the nonsense that we have to wade through, particularly on Twitter these days. There are people that are long Mullen that think I'm against the stock. I'm not against the stock. I'm for the stock. I want the stock to go higher. I'm just not smoking crack like they apparently were doing at the White House. No, actually, that was powder. Can you imagine if that was Trump? It'd be a nationwide story. They'd be running it 24/7. It's Hunter. Schman, no big deal, right? The big guy, did you notice he had a bit of a hop in his step? He was still lost on stage after his July 4th speech, but he was hopping around. He must have had a little something, but I digress. I am getting tired. Wasn't supposed to be here today, but Call of Duty. Some of the clowns that aren't willing to support our cause. We peaked at 418 premium members that were paying us $1 a day, and we're now down to $2.75. Every few days, somebody stops paying. They have hard troubles in their business. I empathize. They can't stand the fact that I just pointed out our president's a fucking cokehead, and he has no clue what he's doing. Yep, there goes 2 more right there, maybe even 3. Good. Thanks for the support. I wish you the best of luck. And then the same challenge that Elon faces right now. He's claiming that he's forcing limits on tweets to stop the AI and the scraping. No, Twitter has a 1.8% conversion rate. There's no way around it. We live in a world that is, what have you done for me lately? And they want something for nothing. So I have to figure out one way or another for my own sanity. What do I share on Twitter in terms of trades so that we can still grow our brand? And what can I take behind closed doors with respect to Discord? Because most, not all, most of you motherfuckers that refuse to support the blood, sweat, and tears that come to the table every day with yours truly have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember that I do love you, and thanks for watching.